However, it's time to take it up a notch. Denny will be talking about his personal fitness trainer, Joe. He works Denny out 2 times a week, both physically and mentally. The title of his speech is Personal Fitness Training, Boxcar Willie Style. Thank you, Denny.
A few years back, like 6 years ago, my wife surprises me with the ultimate birthday gift. A personal fitness trainer for 1 year. The trainer's name was Joe. And the first day we get introduced, you have to understand, this guy is 5 feet, 10 inches tall, bald-headed, and muscles coming out of everywhere. And he says, the first thing we have to do is set some goals. And by the way, your wife set a goal for you. She expects you to get into the in 1 year. I looked at those, and I looked at him. I says, is that possible? He goes, it all depends on 3 things. First, on how hard you work. Because you got to get those muscles toned up, tuned in. 2, you got to watch what you eat and read the labels on what you've got, or what you're eating. Because 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. And he was serious about that. You don't want more calories coming in than you've got going off. You'll never get into those speedos after that. That's the goal. And 3rd, he said, no cheating. Well, that first day, when he got me working out, there was a lot of moaning and groaning going on. I was going, oh. And the thing about Joe is he has these favorite sayings. Where does it hurt? Where do you feel that? I don't feel a thing. The next thing is his watch. His watch, I don't believe works. Because when I go over and he puts me in the parallel bars and I'm standing, 2 to 3 minutes, right? My legs start shaking. I said, it's got to be 3 minutes. Oh, no, according to my watch. I said, your watch can't be working. I said, no, it works. Really? No, it's working. Anyway, when he gets to a certain point and my leg is shaking so bad, he said, okay, I think we can move on to something else. So we go into the muscle weight training with different bars that he has me. He takes my hand, or this hand, and ties it to the bar, and I bend his bar down and I hold it for X amount of minutes. And again, 3rd is supposed to be a minute. So I'm holding that down there, and I said, it's got to be a minute now, got to be a minute now, because this bar is going every which way. And he said, no, you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds! And I'm shaking really all over. So finally I said, okay, that's it. I go, how many more? Well, we got to do it 2 more times. I said, really? Oh, really? I said, you have to really get with it here. I mean, you got a lot of work. I said, okay. 2 weeks go by, and I go to an MS function, and they have trough feeding going on. They had this beautiful salad bar. Now, I get this beautiful salad, but I get 6 extra tablespoons of salad dressing put on it. And guess who told on me? He says, Joe, you wouldn't believe what he... I said, really? Oh, what a deal. That was the wrong thing to happen. Because the next thing that happened was I had extra reps to do. Especially when I'm moving that arm out there with that band. And I had to push it out there. How many is that? Well, if you have to ask me, it'll start to count over. So he has no idea on counts. I mean, no idea. I'm there trying trying to, I said, that's got to be 10. No, we're good. If you think that's 10, we're starting over. And by this time, I'm starting to sweat. Not only am I sweating, but I am really getting tired because we're only halfway through this exercise. And don't forget, I've got a year of this to go through. So, as we get going, and I get really wound up, I'm thinking I'm getting better. Well, we come to Joe's favorite part of this exercise. It's called the Zoom Zoom cardio game. He loves it. It's where he puts a nylon, there's a handle that goes on this hand, he ties it on. And the one on this hand, and there's this ball. You pass between each other. He stands like at the end of that table, and what you do is you move your hands apart, and the ball goes sliding down this nylon cord over to the other side. He takes it and zips it right back at me. Now this goes back and forth, back and forth. Now that's when you get your heart rate up. And when you get your heart rate up, that's when you start burning some calories. Because you really do start getting warmed up when that happens. But he loves it because you know what his game is? To hit my knees. If he can hit my knees, he's having a good day. And he aims for it when he gets stretch them apart. So he really knows what he's doing at. It goes right apart, back and it goes right apart. And I'm going, phew. Anyway, the last part of the exercise is the stretch. And I mean, the stretch really hurts because you've been using those muscles. Now we got to stretch them out. And when they stretch out, they go, oh! And there's this moaning and groaning that's unbelievable. In fact, he let me stretch my leg one day, and I let out a scream. Denise comes charging in there. Joe, 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 are you okay, Joe? Are you okay? I go, Joe, it's me. What are you guys here for? In closing, case closed on that one. In closing, am I getting closer to getting If you saw me in these right now, you probably wouldn't want to look at it. Mr. Toastman.